this, the podcast.
Okay.
That way we won't have to start over. And you can just invite people as you feel like it, Jen, or whoever you want to have come in. And speaking of the devil,
there's Nick.
Speaking of inviting someone in, there's Nick.
Hello, how you doing?
Nick, I'm not used to seeing you in this setting. I'm used to seeing you, a fuzzy image of you running around London.
Yeah, right now I'm in Denmark. It's really cold.
What's the temperature out there in Denmark?
Well, it's kind of hot, but I mean, it can be cold, but it's right now it's not like Greece.
Mm-hmm. And Greece is chilly right now?
Yeah, it's warmer over there. How is it in Texas?
Texas, it's hot like usual, 100 degrees.
We're
working inside a tin box today, a cargo container, building a pole barn over a cargo container. So I'm enjoying the indoor air conditioning right now, the comfort of being inside. Nick, tell everybody who you are, so everybody put yourself in context here.
Has the show started, or is this?
This is going to be the show. We're starting the show right now.
All right. Hello, my name is Nicolas Charbonnier. I'm a video blogger at armdevices.net. The Chromecast is right here in Denmark. I'm the first one in Denmark with a Chromecast.
Excellent. You got one. When did that come in?
Somebody sent it to me, and I'm like, yeah, cool, awesome. I think I guess they watched the show, and they figured that I'm in Europe, and I didn't have one. Actually, it's a guy who's making he's watching some of my videos because I've been making videos about all the HDMI sticks. And so it's a company called W-Door. They're gonna make like a Miracast dongle for cheaper than Chromecast.
Great.
They're releasing that very soon.
So
and what's the company name again?
W-Door.
Why don't we put that in the show notes?
All right.
Why don't you type it in there and we'll add it to the show notes. Go ahead and type it into the chat in our Hangout, and we will put that in our show notes for people to find out somebody who's going to try to compete with Chromecast.
How's my sound? Is it okay? Is it coming from here? It's coming from there?
It's sounding good.
You sound good.
Okay.
You sound great.
I don't sound like the when I'm on the street in London, I hope.
No, you don't sound like you're underwater.
Yeah, that was terrible. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
All right. So I've been testing the Chromecast.
In every show.
How much have you been testing the Chromecast?
Well, I've been having fun with it. I've been throwing it around on the different TVs. I've got 15 of them now.
Wow, 15. Wow.
15? You got more?
Yeah, I got more in the from Best Buy by a shipment, and then I also got a shipment in from Google itself.
Nice.
Are you able to add up all these Netflix or not?
Do what now?
Can you add up all your Netflix?
Yeah, you can. It's kind of funny though. You know, I had a conversation with someone at Netflix, and they said that the offer was good for eternity.
Yep.
And so I said, I find that hard to believe. Would you mind putting that in an email and verifying that and sending that email to me, so in case I get into trouble later that I can show him the email? And then he did. He sent me an email saying that you could have eternal Netflix.
But can you can use multiple coupons on one Netflix account? It needs to be separate Netflix accounts.
You cannot do that. But what you can do is you just get a new account every 3 months. That means all your movies you slaved over saving, you've got to do them all over again, I guess.
I wonder what they would do if you were to cancel your account and then reopen it and then use the code. I wonder if it would take it then.
Probably would. I'm guessing that it might, you know.
That'd be worth a shot.
I'm guessing Google is paying for all this.
I was following the deal sites, and they said that they counted as gift certificates, and you can use one code a month.
Oh, one code a month.
And the deal site said that you had to redeem it by December, though. But if Paul has it in writing...
I have it in writing that it's eternal. And I told him I would redeem it in the year 2249. And he said, that's okay. It'll be all right.
I really got a kick out of your post on that. That just made me laugh. That was really funny. That was a good share. Real good share.
I kept saying to the guy, are you sure? Are you sure about this? He said, oh, yeah. It was in one of those chat sessions. You know, they have online chat for support. So he just sent me the transcript of the chat.
Oh, that's good that you have that as a backup, just in case. Yeah. Very good.
And I sent one to France today, too.
You did?
Yeah, some guy ordered one off eBay up from France.
I wonder how long the shipping would take to get to France. Maybe 2 weeks, 10 days?
Probably a while, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's new in the world of Chromecast, Jen? Why don't you tell us what's been in the news? Maybe you can throw up your...
my screen?
Screen, yeah.
Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen here. Just a second.
Feel free, anybody feel free to jump in, Nick or Dan, if you have anything to share along the way, or if you've discovered any good articles or press or anything, be sure to let us know, and we'll look at that. And there's Jen's screen. I'm going to blue box it.
Okay.
There, it's blue box now.
And I would like to first talk about this neat story from Read Write. And this is from Adriana Lee. She wrote this just a couple of days ago. Actually, just yesterday. Yesterday was July 30th, wasn't it? Yeah. So 5 cool Chromecast hacks and workarounds, how to get the most of Google's cheap new streaming dongle. So she listed some really neat workarounds that I thought were pretty cool. The first one is playing your own local media on your computer. So she talks about access to local music and video files. You know, that isn't Google's primary focus. They want us to do more web streaming, you know, with Netflix and YouTube. But we have a lot of us that really want to be able to access our digital library. So she has it here. There's a way to do it, a little workaround. What you need to know, it says the quality of a tab-casted video can appear fuzzy or pixelated, which we know that. And since audio files are smaller, that comes across better. She said if, basically, I guess it would be, I'm trying to figure out exactly how. She talks about using our local files, but I still haven't been able to figure out how to do it. So. Well,
basically you just take and drag it and drop it right into the Chrome, into a Chrome tab.
Oh, so you just drag your existing video file.
Yeah, drag a video file or a media file right into a tab, and it'll play. Or you can type the location on the local hard drive. It'll basically accomplish the same thing.
Oh, that's all. That's mighty.
Are we on the right track here, Nick? How to do that?
So I'm not totally sure. Does it stream the native file directly, or does it compress and decompress?
It compresses and decompresses it.
So it's like AirPlay and Chromecast.
Chromecast uses. So you drag, I dragged a 1080p MP4 into the tab and screencasted it. It plays it, but it's pixelated.
So it's still laggy also.
Down to like a 720p, it's better, or 480. But 1080 didn't work too well.
So I mean, I guess that means it's not like DLNA, it's not like UPnP, it's not like Samba. It's actually like Miracast or like AirPlay, where it kind of compresses and decompresses on the other side.
Right.
Or similar to, what's it called, that thing people have on their TV, where you can watch your TV channels all over the world, the Stringbox. Slingbox.
Yeah.
It's similar, I guess, technology to that, where it compresses and you get a compressed thing on the other side.
Interesting.
Yeah, I actually have a Slingbox here.
Which is not very optimal, but I guess maybe it's required if you are on the Wi-Fi at home. I guess.
I have not.
Have reliable stream.
Yeah. So I'll have to give this a try. Well, I'm glad, Daniel, that you gave this a try and it worked for you. So, but it was a little bit, not the most ideal thing. So I guess the takeaway, I guess if we want to use it for music, then we can do it that way. But how ideal is it to really drag all of your songs into Chrome tabs?
Well, I used Google Play Music, and I was able to send it to Chromecast without any problems.
Oh yeah, from the Play.music or Play. Is it, what's the URL? Yeah, I know what you're talking about, from Google Play. Yeah,
Yep.
that works well. That works really well. That works seamlessly. But I guess if you have native music on your system that's not in Google Play,
Yeah, I did try music.
yeah. Okay.
What Google needs to do is to provide unlimited free storage on Google Drive.
Yes.
For as long as you have files that other Google Drive users also have, you shouldn't pay for storage because it's already. It's like Google only needs one copy of every movie on Google Drive. They don't need to store a copy for every person that has the same movie on their Google Drive. So they should provide you with. You just click on one button. You don't even need to upload. It should analyze your hard drive and say, "Oh, we already have all this. Now it's on your Google Drive. Now it's in the cloud. You don't need to upload it." You know, and then the stuff that's not yet on Google Drive, you might have to upload it if you're the first in the world to ever upload that song or that movie. Then you should upload it probably. But
Yeah, but if you're not the first, then matching it would be good.
Yeah. Even then, if you're the first one in the world, maybe Google can find the file somewhere else, and you don't need to upload it. Even then, they will contact the record company or the movie studio or whatever, and get a highest possible copy, and then you should be able to stream that to your Chromecast, and your Android device and all that. But Google doesn't do that yet, and even Google Drive is too expensive. I mean, it used to be cheap, but then they put the price up like a year ago.
Yeah, I know. I got grandfathered in, fortunately, because they're giving me the same price.
How much did you have storage?
I had like 100 gigs or something like that.
Because I had 80 gigs, but I tried to buy the Nexus 7, which with my non-UK credit card, and then they kind of blocked my Google Wallet, and I didn't really know. And so when I had to renew the grandfather Google Drive, they didn't let me do that, so I lost it. So now I have to pay $10 per month for less, and before it was like $20 per year for more. Too bad.
Well, maybe they'll make some changes to Google Drive going forward. That'd be interesting if they'll do something like that and then tie it into Chromecast.
Yeah,
in
Larry and Sergey, if you're watching this, waiting for faster.
They're glued, they're glued to this right now.
We want multi-terabyte free Google Drive storage, multi-terabyte. I want to click on one button and copy all my movies to Google Drive in a second. No uploading. Do it.
I love it, Nick. Yes, I second that. I second it. Well, the next part of her tips for Google Chromecast are watch your friends' shared videos. And basically this is by using something like Plex, where your friends might share their video stream with you so you can access it via Plex, which is within Chrome, so you can Chromecast it. So that's pretty much what she's talking about here. So, the same thing, since it is tabcasting, it might be a little bit laggy, you might see some lip synchronization being a little bit off, but the audio most likely will come through. For the most part, I think it works pretty decently. When you are using Chromecast tabs or tabcasting. What do you guys think?
I'm not as satisfied. I've had a better experience with Miracast and Wide-Eye.
Yeah. How about the rest of you?
Yeah, I think, Google is really limiting this for now. It could have Miracast support. I mean, the hardware can support it. It could have DLNA. It could have, some other stuff, and UPnP and Samba support. All this should work, but it doesn't yet. So you're limited to kind of hacks and getting into that tab and stuff.
Yeah.
It's too bad for now.
For now, yeah, exactly. For now, I think is the key word. For now, or the key words. For me, I noticed when I was tabcasting the other night, and so actually what happened in this case was I had DVR'd a show, and I use an HD antenna. I cut the cord, so I use an HD antenna. So I was DVRing my signal, and sometimes the signal is a little bit choppy. It's hit and miss. So in that case, what was that? I'm sorry. Get rid of that. Let me close Skype. So in that case, I decided to do tabcasting off of CBS.com, and It was a little bit glitchy, but I was satisfied for the most part. So, but I think it's just a start, and as we go on, more and more services will be integrated into Google Chromecast, and we'll have more services to view, in my opinion. Okay, the next one, screencast your entire desktop. I have not tried this yet. Have any of you?
No, I didn't even know you could do that.
Okay, so it says here, not only can you cast your tabs, but you can cast your entire screen to the TV as well, thanks to screencasting. You can access this feature via the drop-down menu that we get from clicking the Cast button in the Chrome browser. She said this feature has a big experimental label slapped all over it, and it's buggy, laggy, and crash-prone. However, in this rough incarnation, it's still a benefit for those odd accessories when you need to share your whole desktop with a room full of people. So she said there is an important difference between tab casting and screen casting. The former tab casting, we can share our audio, but screen casting, there's no audio. The audio will go through your computer, not your TV. So that's something interesting. I want to give that a shot just for fun. I have to definitely give that a try.
Worth a try. I'm definitely going to try it out.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And let's take a look. Tweak settings for smoother playback. So there's a couple of places to do this. First, we have streaming music. She says streaming music may not require a streaming fast network, but videos are another story. So we know this, and we want our video to be smooth and come through clearly. So we can change our files in the settings and tweak the settings. There's an auto resizing button where we can auto resize the browser to best fit the receiver screen. Then we have our tab projection quality as well. So we have extreme, high, and standard, which is 480p all the way up to 720p. And then full screen zoom, where we can have that enabled or disabled. So it's worth, in my opinion, playing with these settings to see if it might help you get a little bit better, I guess, video when you are tab casting.
And there's an even deeper menu than that you can get to if you go to.
Let me go there.
Yeah, there's the.
I have it right here. It's so here.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
There you go.
So this is really cool. Someone found this. They went into the Chromecast extension for Chrome. And then when you pull up that Chromecast extension in Chrome, you want to click on Options in the extension. Then he says in the tab, he right-clicked and clicked Inspect Element. So when you do that, there's a section on the page that has a display, none is what it says, display none. And he removed that and then got into some good settings. So we have video settings, minimum bit rate, maximum bit rate, max quantization, video buffer, resolution, audio, network settings, and so on and so forth. So some really good stuff here. It'd be interesting to play around with this. I haven't tried this yet either. Have you guys given this a shot at all?
No, but that's a lot of very fine-grained control, isn't it, Nick? Isn't that a very fine-grained control, Nick?
Did we lose Nick?
I think he's
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's lots to be expected from Google. I mean, you have few things for now. Hopefully, much more later. But who knows? Maybe you don't get anything later, and this is it. We're stuck with this forever. I don't know. But here, I'm fetched some of my collection of previous HDMI sticks from China. They're all from China. Mm-hmm. So this one is one of the smallest ones. I even have an even smaller one. Wait a second. I'll get it right now.
Nick is something of an HDMI stickologist. He's like the world's best collection of HDMI sticks.
Where's my my Chromecast? I'm sitting on it. Okay, right here.
You're sitting on your Chromecast.
Yeah, I was sitting on my Chromecast. Sorry about that.
It's so durable.
Yeah, so here we have the Chromecast. Okay, Next to, this is the smallest dual core. This is a dual core ARM Cortex A9. So actually, this one is cheaper and more powerful. This dual core ARM Cortex A9. This is not a Cortex A9. This is a Marvell. It's also a dual core, but well, it might be similar to a Cortex A9, but it's like a Marvell has architecture license with ARM. They don't what's it called? But I have even some quad core. So here's a bunch of quad. This is a quad core, Freescale quad core HDMI stick, and they all come with a USB host on there. So all these have a USB host. You can see a full-size USB host on the other side. And so I believe that more than 50 million have been sold so far of these HDMI sticks in the world.
50 million, did you say?
Before Chromecast arrived. It's
50 million. Say that again.
Definitely tens of millions, for sure. If it's more than 50 million or not, I'm not sure, but it's tens of millions of these have been sold already. So people are going insane over the HDMI sticks, which is cool. And Google found out and said, wow, people think this is cool, let's do it. And they've done it in their own way.
Dell has one coming out called Project Ophelia. I think it shipped off this week to testers.
Yeah, Michael Dell, actually, he sent me a bunch of emails. He was on my website. He checked all these videos of the HDMI sticks, and they are using Rockchip, dual-core Rockchip, which is what's inside here. So this is a bigger HDMI stick, which has mini jack output on the bottom, and big USB host as well, and micro SD slots. They all have micro SD slots.
Do any of those have Ethernet ports, Nick?
So many of them support Ethernet on a USB host. Because you can connect a USB to Ethernet adapter if you want, which would maybe help with streaming native files in 1080p and all that stuff, because Wi-Fi is limited. You might not really be able to stream the highest bitrate, the biggest video file, without compressing and decompressing on the other side. But that's just to show some of a little bit of the market. So this is it. This you can get. This is on the market, and I don't think the Chromecast is at all going to disrupt that. On the contrary, I think the Chromecast is helping to make the HDMI stick.
Look at that
Chromecast.
It's like a sandwich. This is a sandwich of tech.
It's an HDMI stick sandwich.
Yeah, I think this Chromecast is streamlining all these and making the market more believable and more reliable, and eventually smoother, because Android is great, but they're all running Android. This one is really optimized for doing stuff on your TV, and this is something that Google can help to get towards. And also, I would like to see all these run Chrome OS and not run Android only. It'd be great if you can use one of these HDMI sticks as a desktop computer to replace the Windows Intel machine that you have. And this is going to be a huge deal when you have $30, $35, or less than $50, really fast. This is full computer on a stick. And thanks Google for doing this and getting people excited.
Popularizing it.
Yeah, getting people excited. And now everybody has to do small ampered sticks and just get the speed up and get the functionality up, and release some real Chrome sticks, not just Chromecast, but also some Chrome OS, so you can have a wireless keyboard and mouse, and use only this to run the Hangout, and only this connected with a webcam, only this connected with this microphone, this USB microphone, connected with like a USB hub, and have all kinds of USB accessories working. Google, hello.
Hello,
are you
Google.
There? Just saying.
First to Google, is anyone home? Nick Charbonnet has an important message for you.
Yeah, I mean,
a great message.
This is a great first step into destroying Microsoft. So good job, and continue. Get Microsoft out of this world, or at least, well, out of this world. They can still be here as long as Microsoft uses Linux, and as long as Microsoft works on open source and free software, you're welcome to stay. I'm just saying.
I love it.
Man, you nailed it there, didn't you, Nick?
I love it.
Yeah, nailed. That's it looks like a nail.
Nail on the head right there, Nick. Good on you, Nick. You're a legend, mate. Hey, Nick, so you got a Chromecast, mate. When did you get yours?
I got it like 8 hours ago.
Cool.
Not really.
Where did you get it from? Did you get it posted to you, or did you buy one? Did you buy it from the store?
I had to go find the FedEx store in the rain in London. You know, London is always raining. It was like pouring rain like crazy, and I had to look for the FedEx store. And the FedEx guy gave me huge box. There was this one inside. What's funny about these, and which is the Chinese they do, is you can sell this. They sell these without any cables, without any adapters and anything. You just put one of these in an envelope, and you can send it to the whole world with very cheap shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And it doesn't break.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
Jennifer, how much was the postage you sent me?
It was only like, what was it, like 10, 13 bucks maybe, 15. It wasn't that much.
That's
Yeah.
cheap from the US to America, to Australia. It's cheap.
Yeah, because it was, a lightweight package, and it was only 9 ounces. So,
But
Right.
I think the FedEx package that got me this could probably fit 100 of these in the same
That's
size package.
funny.
It's like
Jim, let's roll on with the articles, okay? Let's go.
All right.
Let's keep those moving along on your
All right,
screen there.
let me go back into.
And by the way, Jen did say it's at some point we're going to see the live Jen in a future episode.
Yeah, I told him that I'll get my act together next week. So we have our next, then I tried to open up this next link. I'm just going to skip over at the Huffington Post one because there's no link to it.
Yeah, it's not that good either. It's just, the usual stuff.
And, oh, that's interesting. This link was posted twice. Okay. We have Chromecast hacked is at the end of Android. So this is more geared towards Android fanboys and girls. But here we talk about an ethical hacker that have found a way to boot their own kernel in Chromecast. And the problem was that Chromecast verifies cryptographic signature of the new kernel. Even if it fails verification, it boots the kernel anyway. So it raises a question, why brand a product as Chrome when it is using an Android kernel? Many feared that this would be a sign that Google plans to stop Android in the near future. So it's interesting. I think people are really kind of, I've been hearing a lot of rumors lately that Chrome OS is the way things are going, and that Android, might not be around in a few years. So, also talking about this Chromecast being hacked, I also read somewhere else that it wasn't, like a major exploit or anything like that. It was actually something that we have nothing to fear of. I guess I should get a little bit more detail on that, but that was it in general. Do you all know anything about this, or?
yeah.
Okay.
We can talk.
Ahead. Yeah, let's
So-
hear.
So it's kind of BS, but not really. I mean, not really. But just to say, the Marvel chip that's in here is similar, or maybe it's even the same Marvel chip that's in the Google TV boxes, which are based on Android. So of course, Chrome OS and Android are both Linux, embedded Linux and ARM. So you're not going to start over all the work you've done if you're using the same processor as in the Google TV. You're going to continue working from where you are.
Yeah,
And that's kind of like the reason why they choose Marvel as well. It's installing, developing all this software from scratch on a new processor is a huge work, and so that's why they didn't do it. They kept the same chip that's in the Google TV. So, of course, it's similar. It looks like Android, of course, but they can bootstrap on that and run a full Chrome OS as well. If they wanted to run Chrome OS on this chip, like a full Chrome OS. So, for example, Ubuntu, when you have this Ubuntu phone that's coming out, they don't start from scratch and do like everything Ubuntu from scratch. they take Android, the BSP, the board support package, or whatever it's called, which is the base layer of Linux. They take the Android one and build Ubuntu on top. So if you go to the bottom of the Ubuntu phone, it'll look like Android, but it's, you know, you can run Ubuntu on top. So
Nice.
you know,
Yeah,
I think
that
people
makes
are
sense.
they're just inventing stories out of kind of like, but of course it's going to be very interesting how Android and Chrome OS, how they each have their own like role for now and for a while. But I don't think Android is
Can
going
I
away
just
at
quickly
all.
jump in, Paul? Apparently Chromecast just got an update, a software update.
Oh, did it? Oh, I
Yes, it
haven't
did.
seen it. Okay, that's good to know. Thanks.
Can you screencast that information?
It says alert, update alert, Chromecast, calendar, and play music.
Where did you
Can you
see
put
that?
it on your screen? Can you screencast it, Brett?
Yeah, I can give you a link to you right here. Hang on.
Yeah, just
Okay.
go ahead and put and screen share it. We'll look at it.
Well, no, I can't actually stream because I'm actually talking to someone about something. I don't want to share my chat.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Okay, did you put it in the
You
Hangout?
send the link, then Jen can
I'll click it.
screen share.
There you go.
All
See where
right.
There
Let's
you
see,
go.
update alert. Chromecast, Google Calendar, and play music. Oh, it doesn't really say that much. It just says, let's see, can't wait to update my cast and have, I haven't, yeah, it just says update alert, but I don't see what's being updated with it though.
maybe, Paul, you can check on one of your casts and update one and see what you get. But how do you update it though? How do you update the firmware in it? Is there any-
Wonderful.
Good question.
Well, help doesn't do it. I just tried help. That doesn't do it. And I don't know, maybe it's under options? I'm not certain. I would think that would be some type of automatic update that would just be
Yeah,
pushed
it'd be
out.
automatic. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would just update automatically, I think.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, Google is pretty good at the whole automatic thing. Like Chrome OS updates automatically, and Chrome updates automatically on all computers in the world.
Oh,
It's pretty
yeah.
impressive.
What do we have next in line on our articles?
Okay, let's take a look here. Verge Google Chromecast review. Google takes on AirPlay and finally puts a browser on your TV. Let me see if I can open up the link on this one. You know, while I'm pulling this up, just something to note. I think it's beautiful how mainstream this has already become. I've noticed that so many just mainstream news sources are talking about this, and you know, it's every day I'm seeing something new, and just it's really and that I think is just wonderful. I love it when it hits mainstream and really gets out there. So Google Chromecast review from The Verge. Let's see. It's I'm just trying to see if there's anything different in particular on here. It's surprisingly difficult to put a web browser on a TV. It's difficult for regular people. The best option is just plugging in a laptop, and it's been ridiculously difficult for the tech industry in general. From interface problems to weird remotes to clunky performance, attempts to put the web on TV have all met with failure one kind or another. And Google in particular has learned a hard lesson in Google TV, which crashed and burned so spectacularly when it launched in 2010. That's true. I have a Google TV. It's in my garage. So now Google launched the Chromecast, which is a much simpler way to get your web on the TV for $35, an HDMI dongle that basically competes with Apple's AirPlay when you use supported services like YouTube and Netflix on your phone, tablet, or computer, or use the new Cast button that sends video to your TV. So it says it's very promising with the price, you know, which we are aware of that. So this is just a nice, good overall review. You know, The Verge always puts out good stuff, and it talks about, you know, goes into the device in particular, talks about the specs, and you know, on the back there's an LED button, a micro USB port. So it goes through all the specs on here. Yeah, so it's just a good overall article. Casting about for fun and profit. The Google Chromecast is basically a small Android computer that can connect to the internet and play video files. I'm trying to see if there's anything new on here, though, that I might be missing. And I think we pretty much have covered all of this, you guys. So,
Yeah, I think we have. Yeah.
yeah.
It's a good if you're new to Chromecast. It's a good starting point, I think, because they really cover things pretty well there.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good overview. This one is interesting. How to watch torrents on your new Chromecast. Now that was someone's killer app last week. Whose app was that? Who wanted to do the torrent?
I don't remember.
Nick. It was Nick, right? It was you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was you. Did you add this article into our show notes?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay.
No, I did. I put that in there.
Ah, all right. Okay. Well, let me go through this a little bit. Google's new Chromecast is a little limited in what it can do. It won't store videos for you to play back later. It doesn't do QuickTime, and but there are a lot of other files that you can play, like flash streams and MKVs that you've downloaded, say from a torrent tracker. Woohoo for torrents! I love torrents. So contrary to what has been reported, you can watch local files on a Chromecast device. Pretty much anything that plays in a browser will play on your TV. Instead of streaming directly from Netflix or YouTube or some other cloud source, you can also sling video directly to your computer to the device using your Chrome browser.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So it says this opens up your TV to lots of alternate sources of video, such as MKV files, MP4s, AVIs, and you want to make certain you're grabbing an MKV that's encoded using AAC and not AC3 as one of its formats, because Chromecast does not support that yet. So it has a complete list of formats that are supported. So if you're interested in that, we'll have that in the show notes. And yeah, it sounds like a great little hack or workaround, rather.
It's drag and drop. You just take your file and you drag it into your Chrome browser, and like they say, it's pretty much it. Kick back and relax.
But it's strange that it wouldn't support Dolby AC3. I don't understand, because as far as you've been saying, Daniel, it compresses and decompresses for sure, right?
Right.
So if it does that, then it should be able to take any codec in. And I don't understand why it would not support the AC3 Dolby audio. I don't know. I don't understand why it wouldn't.
I'm going to pull up the list. So here are all the video files that it does support. H.264, H.264, high profile, level 4, 4.1, 4.2, and 5, VP8. MP3, HEAAC, LCAAC, CLT, CELT, Opus for audio, MP4, WebM, MPEG, Dash, smooth streaming. Some of this stuff I really don't know what it is. A lot of it I do, but I'll be honest, some of these I'm familiar with.
There's a very big deal coming up, maybe later this year, maybe next year, VP9. And the H.265 codec.
Oh.
If this doesn't support it, if this is not powerful enough to support it, we'll all have to upgrade our Chromecast next year.
Interesting.
We don't have to, but it's just gonna cost Google 30 or 40% extra in bandwidth to get the same quality to all the Chromecasts. It's like a new upcoming codec that's lower bit rate, and it would be kind of a big deal to try to make sure that this can support it. Hopefully it can support it, but right now on this list it supposedly it does not support it. But I don't really understand if this is the supported media types for the encoder that's in the browser tab streaming feature, or if it's the decoder on the stick. I don't know if this one has all these codecs and if it gets the files natively or not. I'm not totally sure I understand this.
So, hey, Nicholas, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Yeah, no, you got that. You're in the UK, right? So how does it work for you so far? I'm getting one in Australia. Does it work okay for you?
I'd like to explain a little bit how it's been, but it didn't work so good.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Okay, I don't know if it's got to do with geographic location, or if I had a bad Wi-Fi signal, or I don't know. Have you heard about it taking 5 or 6 times to try again before it connects in the beginning? Have any of you had experienced that?
I haven't got mine yet, but Paul, have you had that error yet, mate? Or?
No, I haven't. hasn't occurred.
And for example, you cannot download the Chromecast app officially from the Play Store if you're not in the US. As far as I know. But you can find other ways to download that app. You can just search for it, you know.
Yeah.
So what about Chromecast in a tab? Can you do that? So does that work to your TV? Have you tried sending
Yeah,
stuff?
I mean everything works, but it wasn't very smooth experience for me to install it. You know, like for one, you cannot get the app on Google Play. For two, you need to download some kind of application, which is so strange. Download an application on Windows or on Macintosh, and I could not use my Chromebook, my Ampart Chromebook, to install it.
Okay.
I cannot.
Oh.
It doesn't support all the Chromebooks yet. It only supports the very expensive, overpriced Chromebook, the Pixel.
The Pixel,
which is Intel powered, and which I guess nobody is buying because it's Intel, because basically it's expensive. So
do you mean it won't support that because you could not install the installation file, or were you able to install the extension into Chrome and use it anyway in Chromecast?
As far as I understand, the extension doesn't even work on any Chrome OS device that's not the Pixel, because they have all kinds of functionality to encode and decode, and that encoding part requires more hardware than what's in the Chromebooks. As far as I understand.
I've got it working on my Series 3 Samsung Chromebook, but you have to be on the beta or dev channel. If you're
really?
Yeah, it supports it.
So I guess it will support it then. How smooth is it?
It's not that smooth. It's like the worst of all my notebooks, casting a tab.
Yeah, I'm guessing that it might never work, because if you really want to encode and decode and all that stuff, it needs to be hardware supported. And
if you're just sharing a web page and photos on the web, it works perfect. But if video, forget it.
Yeah, so
hey everybody, I think we're going to wrap up this episode of the Chromecast cast, and we'll have another episode soon. And of course, you all are welcome to hang around after the cast, after I hit the end broadcast. Any closing thoughts from? Let's just go around our panel and get some closing thoughts. Go ahead, Brad. You start.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting mine. I can't wait to get mine. Probably get mine next week, hopefully, and I'll let you know how I go.
And tell people where they can find you.
Techwebcast.info.
Okay, and then we've got Chris Porter. Chris, we're just winding things down here.
Yeah, provide your last thoughts, Chris.
Give everything you were going to say in an hour in about 5 minutes. We'll give you a little extra time here. Give us all your thoughts, all in one capsule, okay?
Well, y'all give me a real quick recap. I'm sorry, I've been having audio-video problems all night, and that's kind of ironic.
Well, just let us know your personal experiences and observations and what you've learned over the last few days about Chromecast. Okay, well, I have been using it a lot for Netflix, and I have found that it works really well with Netflix. I do think that it works best in conjunction with a tablet or a phone, as opposed to sending tabs all over the place from your computer to places in the house. I think that becomes a little bit tedious over time. It's perfect for businesses, but in the general home, I think that people are going to use it more for sending content from tablets and phones. Now, that being said, the great thing about this is that the API is wide open, right? And there's no reason why every app shouldn't be able to incorporate this functionality into their existing offerings. So I think it's a great product. I think it's got a lot of room to grow, though. After using it for just a week, I find myself wanting to use HBO Go and Amazon Prime and a lot of those apps that people on Google Plus mentioned wanting to have. And so I'm looking forward to seeing more and more apps support it. But I'm enjoying it so far, but I want to see even more video services available to send to it. How many Netflix movies did you watch using it last week? Can you remember any titles you watched?
I watch mainly TV series on Netflix.
Oh,
So I've
yeah,
been
what
watching
TV series?
Arrested Development and Breaking Bad, trying to catch up on all those episodes.
Yeah,
Have you seen Orange is the New Black?
I haven't started that one yet.
Yeah, I actually watched the Orange is the New Black and Arrested Development this weekend over the Chromecast.
How
That
was
takes us over to Daniel N, who's give us your closing thoughts, Daniel. You're another Austin guy like me, man. Hook 'em horns.
So, interesting thing about the Chromecast is last week when I was watching your Hangout on Friday, I couldn't push the YouTube video from the Hangout to the Chromecast. It said live streams not supported. But I could push it to the Google TV, no problem.
Wow.
So that was kind of weird. Hopefully they fix that.
And you're kind of an IT guy in Austin, right? We're
Yep.
working for a big box outfit.
Yep.
And then Jacob, what are your closing thoughts here?
Hold on 1 second. It's a pretty interesting device. I might not get one because there's something else coming out very soon over this. They'll do a lot more than Chromecast.
All right, very good, Jacob. And Jacob's working with Brad there. They're kind of a team, two-man team on the tech webcast out of Australia. And then Jen, why don't you wrap up with your observations?
Okay, well, I've been using it for the past week, as you all have been, and like Chris, I've been doing some Netflix on it, but I do find myself going to my Roku as well as my Xbox for other things, So there are definitely some things that are not playable on there. What's that?
What about your Apple TV?
Oh, and the Apple TV as well. Yeah, I do. All of them. I've gone to all of them. But for Netflix and for the mainstream stuff, I've been using my Chromecast. So, I'm excited about it. I'm really excited to see what apps are going to come out next, what we're going to have that we'll be able to play with it, and I expect the best with that. Also, tomorrow I'll go on a short one-night trip away, and I look forward to testing this out in a hotel environment to really see what it's going to be like and see if I can actually pair it up, because sometimes when you're at a hotel, you'll have to sign into their Wi-Fi and go to that website. It'll say, and you enter in, you check the OK button on there, and then you're into the Wi-Fi. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to work with setting up the Chromecast. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know next week.
And Jennifer is going to make a personal appearance next week. She's going to check in with her hair and makeup department and come out in public, right, Jen?
That's right. I'm not gonna. Right now, I was telling Paul before the show that I'm bummed out in a T-shirt and not that that's bad, but I just I've been looking for my parakeet all day. He's missing, so hopefully he'll show up. But yeah.
Thanks again, Jen. I appreciate your show notes and all the effort you're putting into this. And Nick, over to you. What do you want to lob any more cannonballs into the Google ship?
So I'm looking forward to, Jennifer, to your test. My guess is it's probably not going to work in most hotels because you might even, for example, have to pay for an internet access just for the Chromecast, because sometimes you have to pay for each device and stuff like that, and
that's right.
You might not be able to connect on the same network with your, the Wi-Fi like you would in a home access point.
Yeah.
But so I've been testing it out, of course, and putting it on a screen and stuff. But so it's fantastic. I would like to see Google release this software for all the other HDMI stick makers. They should all get access to this, like open source. I don't know. Is it open source? Is it? Can somebody go and download the and install it on some other hardware? I'm not sure about that. But that's what Google usually does, right? But up to where do they support other hardware? I'm not sure. I can't really use this so much because I'm part of the 0.2% of the population that uses the TV as my computer screen. So I don't really want to switch back and forward. And Google, for example, if you go to the Google headquarters, you will see that they all use HD TVs as computer screens because they figured that a TV is the best way to be productive. you get like a huge screen and you really work. You know, like a computer monitor is people get distracted and less productive. But so what I expect is to have a full computer on this, and then I can use it. I want to be able to run a full Chrome OS on here, and then I can really use it. So I'm ready to pay $10 or $15 extra and have a full Chrome OS experience in here, and with a mini jack output, because my sound system uses a mini jack here, and I'd never used the sound from my TV. So you know. My TV sound is pretty bad. I want to have my cheap Logitech speakers that's in the whole living room and that are surround, and you know, like how can I use those? I can't really use those.
It's a shame that's because some of the movies on Netflix are 5.1. It's a shame you can't get 5.1 out of some of the movies when you're streaming it to your TV.
I guess, Chris, you can confirm. I mean, I guess many TVs you can output the sound out of the TV. I guess.
Sure. Yeah, you can. You know, a lot of TVs have digital audio outputs via optical, basically optical Toslink. You know, sometimes though you got to be careful. A lot of times, even that digital optical audio output on a TV won't support 5.1 Dolby Digital though. So depending on the TV model you have, it might only send stereo audio back to your AV receiver, and that's assuming that your TV and your AV receiver are actually within close enough proximity to one another to do that. You know, if you have your TV in another room, or maybe it's hung over a fireplace or mounted somewhere separate from your AV receiver, it becomes very difficult to get 5.1 channel audio. So I agree with you absolutely 100%, Nicholas. I would really love to see either an optical audio output somehow, or at least you know, just a stereo audio mini jack output on it for sending audio around a little bit easier than having to go through the TV.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure this is all fine and perfect solution for 98% of the population, right?
Right.
But for people who already use the TV as their computer monitor, you know, then you have to switch back and forward, and it doesn't really make sense. You just use the computer to play all these videos directly. So, but as soon as this is the computer, then all these sites like The Verge and the whole industry is completely like put on his head, and it's actually quite revolutionary that you can make the whole tech industry disappear into like a finger-sized device. And there's no more design. You know, all these design heads talking about this design is nice, that design is nice. What do you want to design? It's just like a finger.
Yeah.
Like just make a finger thing, like a tiny thing, and this is the full computer. So that's really revolutionary, and we're getting very, very close now. We are just about to be there where this is it. This is all that's left.
I agree. I think this is, you know, there's been a discussion of why did they call this the Chromecast, and I think you're right. I think this is sort of the next Chromebook in a lot of ways. It's a computer without a monitor or any peripherals, but can be added to, you know, infinitely, and it's totally Chrome based. So everything's in the cloud. There's no thinking about security or worrying about any of those issues that we have to deal with computers today. So I agree with you, Nicholas. Now, have you all talked about though how the underpinnings of this seem to be more Android and Google TV related than they are Chromebook or Chrome OS at this point in time?
I think that's just technical. That's just because it's the same chip as in the Google TV. That's, you know, basically a shortcut. You don't start over. And you like, if you make a embedded Linux device work, you continue on what you have, which is the Google TV, based on the same or similar ARM processor. So you don't start over. That's why it looks like Android, but it's just you know,
it's a stepping stone.
Yeah, when I met Sergey Brin in January 2012, and I showed him my Google Glass system 4 months before they announced it at the Google I/O, he asked me, "What is cool here at the CS?" And I wanted to show him, just like 100 meters behind, there was a Texas Instruments showing the first HDMI stick. One of the very first HDMI sticks that was running a full Android on a dual-core processor, and with the guy from TI, the guy making the stick, a French guy with a very heavy French accent. You can watch my video. He says, is a $25 hardware, and that's it. And this is it. This is a $25 hardware. It's a
Right.
full desktop computer, potentially. Right now it's just simple, but you know that this is where Google needs to go. Make Microsoft totally irrelevant. Make Intel irrelevant, even though the Intel ex-CEO is still on the board of directors at Google. Just make it irrelevant. Just the full access to the cloud,
Well,
to the computer on here.
I think that's a good question, Nicholas. Like, is Google starting to make other companies irrelevant? Are they starting to just take a command in our lives in such a way that they're blowing past the Apples and the Microsofts of the world? I mean, I'm starting to feel like Google's so far ahead of these other companies in terms of innovation and seeing the future and putting all the pieces together that it's mind-blowing to me.
I think the only issue is cash. How much cash does Google put into this? If they put $1 billion into this, they will sell every single one. It's just they decide how many do they want to make, how many do they want to sell, and we'll see tomorrow because tomorrow is Moto X, and we'll see. I mean, it's just a question of cash. If Google wants to invest billions of dollars into the Moto X, make sure everybody gets one in the whole world, and sell it for less than $200 without a contract. If they do that, if Google wants to do that, which means not making a very big profit on hardware, but barely making any profit at all on hardware, then potentially there's no more need for Apple and Samsung and anything else. But that's, Google might think this is not the time yet to do that extreme of a leap. But eventually they should do that, and we all need Google to do that eventually, like provide things at cost and provide things at $20 or $30.
Right.
No profit on the hardware because Google doesn't need profit on the hardware. But when it's so cheap, of course, in theory, you don't need any competition. If it does everything, I mean.
Hey,
All right,
Nicholas,
all right, we're going to wrap it up.
can I just
and,
mention one more thing, Paul?
Wait, look, yeah, go ahead.
Nicholas, have you heard about the new Dell stick? Jacob just mentioned to me in a chat here about the new Dell stick.
Yeah. Michael Dell
what's
asked
the-
me how to do it.
What's the story with that? What's going? Are they making one or?
Yeah. I was saying earlier that Michael Dell sent me emails and stuff, and he's basically using the Chinese processor inside. And Dell, of course, is being totally disrupted by this because Dell used to make big, clunky, power-hungry, Intel-powered computers that use 100 times more power than this, and that cost, let's say, 20 times more. But this, this
All
is.
right, we're going to wrap it now. And Jen, tell us when you're getting back from your trip, when you can do the next podcast.
Oh, I'll be back on Friday evening. So.
Okay, when's a good time for the next podcast, do you think?
Shall we shoot for a week from today, or?
A week from today would be good, and we can talk some more, expand on some stuff we've talked about, open up some new topics, and we'll see if by then if Moto X has revolutionized things in different ways than the Chromecast.
I don't know where I'll be in a week. If anybody in the world wants to invite me somewhere, I'm ready to come because I don't know where I'm going. I might go to Greece or to China.
We'll put you up at the Spring Lodge here. We got 9 bedrooms and 4 kitchens and 6 bathrooms here.
Nice,
We'll
awesome.
find a spot for you here.
I love Austin. What's the street?
there you
Fifth
go.
Street or
You
Sixth
come and we'll
Street?
put you up here, Nick.
I
might
can
send
try to
Jacob your
sing
way
and stuff.
too, Paul. Jacob's come down there. I'm going to send him down your way.
You know, real quick, you guys, I actually have a conflicting thing on next Wednesday evening. I just checked, but I'm available on Tuesday and Thursday. So if you guys,
Let's do it Tuesday then,
okay, sounds
because
good.
Moto X will be fresh on people's minds.
Oh yeah.
And we'll talk about not only Chromecast, we'll talk about Moto X and some other developments. And
We
I
all
wanna
have
thank
to have a Moto
everybody.
X. We all
wanna
have to
thank
buy
everybody.
it before next show.
Oh yeah.
What did you say?
we have
We
to
all
buy
have
it.
to have one.
Oh yeah, we'll get one for.
Not just
I'm
the
planning on
Chromecast.
getting one.
They're gonna
But
be selling
anyway.
it tomorrow.
So anyway, on behalf of Brad at the Tech Webcast and Chris Porter and homeboy Daniel there, and Jacob Jones with Tech Webcast and Jen Ruggiero and Nicholas Charbonnier. I'm Paul Terry Walhus, and that concludes episode 3 of the Chromecast. Adieu.